From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Well, good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Taylor Plott here, along with meteorologist Kelly Rawson, alongside meteorologist Brian Wilson, and also Sam Camp is here as well. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. This does include Colbert, Franklin, and Lauderdale counties. It's for this cell. It's on the back end of the line, and it looks like it's got a pretty good hail core. We've been watching this for a little bit, and it's continued to strengthen over the course of the past 10 minutes or so, and the Weather Service feels like it's strong enough to issue a severe thunderstorm warning on it. And the warning says that it is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and actually it's not significant, or actually it's less than quarter-size hail. It goes up to about dime size, is what the warning actually says. So this will continue to track on to the northeast with time. So Cherokee and the Muscle Shoals area, specifically Tuscumbia and Sheffield on the west side of the Shoals and the west side of Florence here. That's where your warning polygon is located. So there's a chance that as this races on off to the northeast, that it could actually pack a little bit of a punch in regards to wind. If it's moving at a pretty good pace, there's a chance that that momentum that is carried by the storm actually forces the wind to come down ahead of it. That could be on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So Kelly's driving the radar once again. Kelly, if you mind seeing what the velocity data is on this. I've been watching areas now and then, trying to see if there's any chance at another quick spin-up tornado. That chance is still there. One of the things that we're keeping an eye on is some of the surface observations that are around, and we're noticing that it is getting a little bit warmer out there, and some of this rain, what would be rain-cooled environment. Hatton is already at 64 degrees again, and the dew point is around 62. So that warm, moist, unstable air seems to finally be pushing in, and that would be right ahead of this last batch of storms rolling through here. So our severe weather risk is not over yet. We'll still have to watch it. I'm not seeing anything that screams damaging wind potential, but again, like I mentioned, if this storm's moving at a pretty good pace, which I think it is based on the Ben Smith over at WH&T mentioned in the chat, is the movement at 80 miles per hour, because that's exactly where that's how long that polygon goes. Yeah, if we can put a lapse on it. I didn't notice that it was moving that quick. Let's take a look. That is moving. Okay, that is moving pretty quick. On Fast Track, let's go ahead, Sam, if you want to go over to Fast Track. So that is actually booking it right there. So here's a storm track.
That's drawn at 70 miles.
So this is at 70 miles per hour. So Newsom Springs about 655, Red Rock about 659, Barton right around 7, Pride Landing at 702, Woodland at 702, along with Keller Corey Landing, Oakland at 707, Kimbrough Crossroads at 708, Cypress Heights at 709, along with Florence as well, McGee Town, and Wauhatchie on there as well at 709. So yeah, Sam, if you could lapse Fast Track. Okay, it is starting to bow out a little bit here. You're starting to get a little bit more of a hail core going on right there. So there's a chance that there could be, again, the warning says up to dime size hail. It could potentially get close to quarter size, but there's a chance that this actually is moving pretty fast here. Again, it looks like the warning said, yeah, Christopher White at the Weather Service said, Ben, yes, we think so, a deviant left mover. So basically what that means in normal terms is you have a cell that either splits off from another cell and it kind of goes away from where everything else is going. Sometimes they can actually move pretty fast. And so this is what they call a left mover. So instead of really going in this direction like this, it's actually going more north than with what the actual mean flow in the atmosphere is. So it's kind of splitting away from it. And you get that sometimes if you have a very strong updraft. And it looks like that you actually have a pretty good updraft here with this part of the storm. So again, severe thunderstorm warning. This is not a tornado warning, so you don't need to seek your tornado safe spot. But again, we'll still watch to see if there's any other areas of rotation. Sam, if you want to pop on the velocity data real quick, you can stop the lapse if you want to. And because I'm seeing, what is this right here? Zoom into the Tuscumbia area. That looks a little suspicious. I can't tell.
That's the back end of another, that's the back edge of the cell.
Yeah, I did. The velocity looks just a little weird on it.
Well, this left mover is trying to interact with that, because it's moving faster than what's moving eastward.
Right.
So
But
it's just interesting.
yeah, but this little spot right here that would be a spot where you could possibly get something. That looked a little suspicious. But yeah, I get what you mean. Where this is moving so fast, it could be starting to interact with the environment out ahead of it. So yeah, we'll have to watch that closely. So again, this warning technically does not include downtown Florence or the campus of the University of North Alabama. It does include the northwestern part of the city, Oakland, Central Heights, and up towards Zip City, right there along. I'm blanking on what this highway is. That's not Highway 20. Highway 20 goes up this way. I think that's
Chisholm Road until it gets into Tennessee.
Chisholm Road until it gets into Tennessee. I think that's Alabama Highway. It's either 13 or 17. That I think goes up that way. Sam drawing on a new storm track here.
That's at 80 miles an hour too.
That's at 80 miles an hour. So if this truly is moving at 80 miles an hour, like the Weather Service has drawn the warning out to, it would eventually get into the Oakland area. What time is it? 6:55. So it would get into Oakland at 7:06, Cypress Heights at 7:07, and McGeetown at 7:07, and Mansion View at 7:08, and eventually get up towards Zip City, probably closer to, I would say, 7:15, as it looks right now. I know it's not on the list, but it looks like it should be getting close to Zip City around that time. So again, a very fast mover. And again, if it is moving at that pace, like I mentioned, the momentum of the storm itself can actually cause the wind to be pretty strong out ahead of it and right as that storm moves in. So there's a chance that you actually could get a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust as this bulge of a storm continues to move on off to the north and northeast at a very quick pace here at 80 miles per hour. Kelly, are you seeing anything on your end, whether that's maybe areas of rotation, any flooding potential? I know that, especially with these storms moving into an already area that's seeing flooding, that's just going to make matters worse. So if you have anything with that.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got some pretty high rainfall rates. I wouldn't be surprised if some small hail's falling with this cell as well. I'll go ahead and circle that area. I'll zoom in and circle that area. And this is racing at about like 80 miles an hour, so I'm going to just adjust it. Here is probably where the potential small hail is falling and where the heaviest rainfall rates are. I mean, when you get into your oranges and reds, that's pretty torrential, as well as the pinks. So we're dealing with some heavy rainfall. Again, this is mainly west of Hawk Pride, New Bethel. You folks in Hawk Pride are still in this warning, but the heaviest of the rainfall and the potential hail going to be west of you, heading towards the Barton area, heading towards Highway 72 in western Lauderdale County, or is that western Colbert County? My
That's
mistake.
western Colbert County.
And there's that next scan, a bullseye with what I drew here. Approaching the Red Rock community, again, Barton. You guys are about to get some blinding rainfall, probably some gusty winds at this hour. I'll zoom out just a little bit. And to get some smaller communities here, we've got Barton, Woodland, Smithsonia. We've got, let's see, in the warning, that does include the Oakland area, Cypress Crest, Cypress Heights, Briarcliff. This is just to the west of Florence, just to the west of Florence, just to the west of Sheffield, Muscle Shoals. But you folks are still seeing some pretty heavy rainfall, but you folks, what you are seeing is not technically severe warning, but I am seeing some higher reflectivity also just to the east of Colbert Heights, just east of Highway 43 between Colbert Heights and White Oak. And again, this portion of the storm that is severe warned is moving, and I should say sprinting northeastward. Again, about 80 miles an hour, so you're going to see some big jumps as we get new radar scans with this. But again, heavy rainfall, even if it's not raining for more than 10 minutes, you're still going to see some heavy rainfall rates in areas that we've already seen some heavy rainfall rates. So the flash flooding threat is going to continue, as we do still have flash flood warnings in these areas. And there goes another jump. Let's go ahead and check storm relative velocity one more time to just make sure we're not missing anything.
And while you're doing that, they have canceled it for Franklin County.
Okay.
So that's just, it's out of Franklin County at this point.
Yes. So Franklin County, you folks are clear from this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is not a tornado warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's moving very quickly. Again, storm motion, it's about 80 miles an hour. We're not really seeing any concerning signs of rotation. We're going to be seeing little areas of rotation here or there. That's just the nature of what we're dealing with as this storm system continues to clear our area. And then, of course, we will just be following anything that does concern us. I'm seeing just a little notch of rotation, again, broad at this time, over or just south of the Red Rock area. Nothing concerning, but we'll be watching it. Again, that is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, there is that warning shaved off from Franklin County, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust this map.
What is that, Sam?
I have an updated storm track on Fast Track.
Okay. I want to see what the cameras are looking like in the shoals, because there's just the way that the reflectivity looks and the velocity that.
And again, we're getting close to sunset too, so things are going to start to look darker. So don't get too alarmed. It is getting dark outside, but we still want to see what we can see.
Yes, and if you
point that back over.
point that back over, and Kelly, if you can get, I think you see what I'm trying to get at with that little bit of a notch that's in between the two cells there. That can be a spot where you can get a quick spin up tornado.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, even though we don't have a lot of instability like we did before, the dew points and the temperatures are starting to creep back up now. So there is that little bit of that last push of instability in the atmosphere. We're up to 66 degrees now in Muscle Shoals with a dew point of 63. That wind is calm. I'm not quite sure about that. Do you know exactly where this is located, Sam?
That is, let me pull it up. I have it. I'm just trying to remember.
While you're doing that, flip back over to Viper, and where Kelly has, because I want to show people what I'm talking about.
That should be the intersection of Alabama 43 and alternate 72.
Okay.
In Tuscumbia and Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
Looking back.
Is it looking west?
West southwest.
West southwest. What's the velocity data? Because that's the one that when you're showing that, it started kind of looking. There is a little bit here. That's one of those spots where if you are going to get another little quick spin up, that's a perfect spot to have one if you have all the ingredients together. I don't really see anything that stands out rotation wise, so I don't think that we're looking at a tornado that is imminent or on the ground at this point, but it is something that we're watching for. Again, we're not out of the woods yet. This is the last batch of storms that are moving through, and we still have that tornado watch in place. So I want to stress that, yes, our big-time violent tornado risk didn't materialize up here in North Alabama. It did materialize back in the other parts of the high risk and moderate risk down in Mississippi and Alabama. So that part of that forecast unfortunately verified today. But up here, we were unable to really get that environment to maintain itself. That being said, there's still a chance we could get these little brief spin-up tornadoes. That wind is now out of the northeast at 4, and that tells me where this is located that you're actually getting wind that could be coming down on the backside of a possible rotation here. So I think it is rotating. That was did you see that?
That was a
powerful?
lightning
That was
strike.
lightning?
Yep.
Okay. That looked a little green, but again, it happened real quick. So there could be an area rotation that's starting to develop here on the east side of Muscle Shoals, and the fact that at the UNA campus we're getting a northeast wind at 4 miles per hour, we'll see if that holds. If it stays northeast or east, that tells me that there is some rotation going on, and you're getting some flow that's coming in on that northeast side, wrapping around back into that part of the rotation. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. So, Sam, if you want to keep an eye on that camera there at UNA, and also I think Muscle Shoals at that point, it's it's over Muscle Shoals, so I don't think you'll be seeing anything from that camera. But it's this area right in here. So UNA is right in that spot where I have my finger. So you're getting a northeast wind right here. So that would be wind kind of coming around in this area right here. So this whole spot, oh, that's our UPS system. The whole spot is starting to twist just a little bit. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. And with it being 7 o'clock when we had our usual cut in at this point, we'll stay a little bit longer on this to get through what we would be doing for a usual cut in. So again, it's this little spot. Every now and then you can get a brief tornado that happens where you get a cell that's kind of over here, and you get another one that's kind of moving over in this area. You get this little sweet spot, little notch right there that you can actually get something. The cell that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning continues to race, and it is now north of the Tennessee River here, getting close to Central Heights. This is Alabama Highway 20. This is Alabama Highway 17. That's the one that goes from the north side of Florence up towards Zip City and eventually gets into parts of Wayne County. And again, this is racing on off to the northeast at close to 80 miles per hour. So just the sheer momentum of that storm racing in that general vicinity, you can get some damaging winds that are along and just ahead of this bulge here. So what you could be getting here, especially in Central Heights, give it about 5 to 10 minutes, you'll start to get some rain. You're probably already seeing some thunder and or hearing some thunder and seeing some lightning. What you'll have is a big gust of wind that probably moves through. It could be up around 60 miles per hour. And then right behind it, you're going to get some hail potential. And that hail could be anywhere from dime to nickel size, maybe close to getting to quarter size as well. Y'all seeing something over? Let's go to Florence camera. I'm seeing what you're seeing over there. Let's go to the Florence camera. What is that?
That's looking almost due.
Is that south?
West, southwest.
West, southwest. All right.
My guess is that may be the leading edge of what could be some sort of a shelf cloud on the leading edge of that north turn. That's my first instinct. However, I am also suspicious.
All right. Sam, here's what I want you to do. I want you to double box with this camera, and I want to try to triangulate where this is looking. The fact that I'm not seeing any power flashes is making me a little more optimistic that this isn't a tornado that is on the ground here in Florence. And that looked green, but that looked like lightning. So see if you can, all right, you got me double box. All right, see if you can get, all right, let's just do this. Take Viper behind me.
I have an updated storm track on Fast Track if you want to take
Okay, well, we're having a double box here with the links, not the output, but the actual selection. So take Viper full and get rid of the double box. Okay, now I want you to, all right, so zoom into Florence right here. I want to be very, very sure that this is not a tornado on the ground before we go and talk about something else, because that looks very, very suspicious. It's going to be right in here. It's not looking back in this area. It's going to be right back in here. So where the campus of the University of North Alabama is right around here, I want you to be looking back to the southeast. If you can, Sam, if you can get that camera and make sure that it's pointed back to the southeast or east. If that's where it's pointed to, then that could possibly be a wall cloud or a tornado on the ground here in Florence. Again, I want to be absolutely sure that this is not something that, like Kelly said, we want to make sure that this is not a shelf cloud or anything. So let me know when you know where exactly that camera is.
This is pointing west, southwest.
That is pointing west, south. So now that's pointing back to the backside of the rain. All right, let's swing it around and see if we can see anything on the southeast side. Because again, that's in that spot where it's sometimes the velocity data might not show exactly what's going on, but that's this little notch right here. What is going on is you have a cell that is moving this way, and you have one that's lingering on the back side. It's starting to shift a little bit further to the north of the other cell, and you get an interaction here, and you actually could get some rotation that's developing. So meteorologist Chase Wilson is in here. And again, Chase, I don't know if you've been listening, but I want to make sure that what that Florence camera is pointing to is Is it an actual lowering, or is it looking somewhere else?
That could be fog rolling in, is what I was just notified as well. Could be.
Okay.
I've been keeping an eye on it.
You've been keeping an eye on it too.
We were having issues trying to access the control.
Oh, on the control. What's the, while you do that, Kelly, let's switch to velocity. And there, is that storm relative? Go to base real quick. Sometimes base you can see it a little bit better in that sense. There's really not a lot there, but you get a little bit of a weakness, so there is a little bit of rotation going on. And again, we're checking in the background just to double check to make sure that what we're seeing is not something that's significant moving into parts of Florence. There is a rotation that I'm seeing now that is just to the southeast of Leeton, so that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on as well. So there's that sky cam. Do we have control over it at this point?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, and Sam.
We're having issues trying to access the control right now on multiple devices.
Okay, but you're sure, at least from this standpoint, that from that vantage point you're actually looking southwest?
That was looking southwest.
That was looking southwest. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better about that, because then that would be moving. Do what?
I got you double boxed with that camera.
Okay, I see that.
Which direction
Yes.
do you need this camera?
If you can point it to the southeast. If that was the southwest and I'm not saying, but if there was something there, maybe we caught the back end of it. But if you're able to swing it around to the southeast, you would be looking directly in that where that little notch is, just to the southeast into the shoals. So if you pointed the camera right over the dam, that would be where it is. And I'm still seeing some slight evidence of rotation. So again, we're just going to double check on that to make sure. But that looked very ominous. And if that was
Gas campsite
It's
is down right now.
down, okay, there was a lightning strike. That might not be updating then, because we had a lightning strike and
Drew's logging into the back end to move it right now.
Okay.
The camera is updated.
okay, I see it. The rain's kind of
The control portal is down.
Oh, the control portal is down.
The
Okay.
camera's live, but the control portal.
Okay. Well, we'll wait. We'll keep the double box. Drew is going to be swinging that around so we can take a look. Again, it's this little spot here that's in that little bit of it's a piece of a storm. Or it's a storm that came from another part of the storm that's off to the east. And every now and then, once you have that, you can get this little pocket that you can actually start to get some tornado potential with it. And you could even get that with a weak velocity signature on radar. So while they do that, let's take a look at reflectivity real quick, and we'll take another look at this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, it is now getting into Central Heights, and man, this thing is really booking it, Kelly. Yeah, I think that 80 mile an hour, that's right. That is booking it at 80 miles per hour. So again, there's a chance that once at Cloverdale, you're seeing it right now, you're probably seeing that heavy rain, gusty winds, and you're probably going to get a little bit of hail on the back side. It could be on the order of nickel and dime, maybe up towards quarter size, and that will continue to race on off to the north and will eventually get into southern Wayne County here and make its way on off to the north towards Collinwood and Waynesboro. So that will continue to move to the north. There's a chance that the Weather Service in Nashville might have to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this. Towards the east, again, that little spot I was talking about is now here. So it looks like it has crossed the river and is now right along US 72 here as you get towards Killen. And again, we saw something ominous there. We weren't exactly sure if that was a shelf cloud, fog, something, but that definitely looked very suspicious. And it was in kind of, that cell was in a spot that you could easily get a little quick spin up tornado with it. All right, let's back things out if you could, Kelly, just kind of refresh things. I know everybody's still seeing storms. They're still seeing a lot of rain, hearing some thunder, seeing some lightning. Again, our big concern right now, again, we're watching that severe thunderstorm, but one of the big concerns across the area is flash flooding right now. Flash flooding continues for parts of Lawrenceburg, Loretto. We've seen some pictures there. Parts of Pulaski could be seeing some flooding as well. We're already seeing flooding going on in Florence. It's probably getting worse now because you're getting that big cell that's moving on through. But look at this. We finally made it to the back end of things. So this is the end of our severe weather risk. So if you live in Waynesboro, the camera's now looking southeast. All right, let's go ahead and take that full, just so I can see exactly what it's looking like. While you do that, I was mentioning Waynesboro. That cell's moving, so that after that cell moves through, that's going to be the end of your severe weather risk. So this is looking southeast or southeast?
Yes, southeast.
Southeast. Okay, there's really not a lot you can see there at that point. But if there was an area rotation there, it is now east of Florence and is between Florence and Killen, right there along US 72. And that would eventually make its way on up towards the Lexington area. But I don't see anything that's substantially rotating. But for an instant, Kelly, we all saw it. That looked extremely suspicious there. So again, without seeing, you're looking back into the rain at this point. You're looking back in this direction, so you won't be able to see anything. Let's go ahead and dive down and take a look at this supercell that's getting close to Lawrence County. That one's kind of catching my eye. I want to, before we go back to your regularly scheduled program, I want to try to hit up any of these little suspicious spots. So this is the one that's in Florence. So let's scoot down towards Lawrence County. Keep going. Almost. This is going to be this cell right here that's moving out of Winston County. Let's take a look. You're on high top right now? Yeah. Take a look at the velocity from high top. Okay, this does have a mesocyclone with it. But again, at this point, it's looking pretty high up. Columbus might be a slightly better vantage point. And this would be a heads up. There's something there that's a little interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Up in the atmosphere too.
Yes, yeah.
So this could just be an indicator that
It's just
healthy soar.
right. It's just rotating. It's actually, yeah. So that's a rotating supercell. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So that would eventually move into southeastern Lawrence County here. So we're talking about the Speake community. It's not going to be near Hepsidam. It's not going to be near Wren. It's not going to be near Moulton. This would be more than likely the southeastern portion of Lawrence County here in Alabama. So this is just a heads up. This will eventually move on into Lawrence County and eventually into the western side of Morgan County. It's this supercell here, so it is rotating. We'll have to watch to see if there's anything that does develop on the back side of this. And again, this will be moving towards Moreland and Winston County, southeast of Grayson, eventually getting close to Upshaw, into Piney Grove, Andrews Chapel, Danville, and Massey. These are the areas that were under a tornado warning earlier, so there's no warning active on this yet, but it is something suspicious, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. The Lauderdale County EMA, lightning appears to be picking up with the cell in Lauderdale. No damage reported so far. So that's that cell that's directly over the Florence Shoals Killen area right now. The back side of this line, again, continues to move to the east, and it's about to clear the US 43 corridor, at least in the Alabama perspective of things, south of Florence. So we'll allow this warning to continue. I don't think, let me check the weather service in Nashville. If y'all have anything y'all want to add real quick before we toss it back to programming, I don't think that they're going to, I would imagine if they're going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, they would have done it already.
Do you want to track on this?
On that cell moving into Tennessee? Yes. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that before we toss things out. You got it over there in fast track?
What speed do you want it at?
80. We'll just keep going at 80. And while you do that, I'm looking to see if the weather service in Nashville has said anything. I'm not seeing.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about an extension yet, but
Yeah. It looks like they're having tornado issues outside of our viewing area up there. You can actually see it here with that tornado warning right here east of McMinnville. So their focus might be over there. But yeah, whenever you get a chance, looks like Sam's got the track over there. We switch over to fast track real quick. So again, this is that cell that's coming out of Lauderdale County. It's the one that's booking it to the north and northeast at about 80 miles per hour. So this is a heads up. If it continues on this general track, it would probably go just east of Collinwood as it looks right now. So Fairview about 720, West Point at 727, Pea Ridge at 732, Ovila at 733, Deerfield at 735, Center and Etheridge close to 740, Napier also close to 740, along with Henryville, 743, Alexander Springs, and Summertown at 745. There's a chance this takes a little bit of a northern component here, so there's a chance that Collinwood and Waynesboro could be impacted by this cell. But again, this continues to race on off to the north and northeast at a very quick pace here at about 80 miles per hour. And I am not seeing that the Weather Service in Nashville is going to issue that severe thunderstorm warning. So they have canceled it now for Lauderdale County, and that's obviously because it is now fully into Tennessee and into southern Wayne County here. So let's flip back over to Viper, reset things. You want to put the watch warning map up for me, Kelly, and we can talk about people we can actually clear from the severe weather risk at this point. So Wayne County, I would hang tight just for a little bit longer. You got that cell moving in, but I don't see a tornado risk with it. It would just be the potential for some brief damaging winds and maybe some quarter-size hail. Hardin County, Tishomingo County, Itawamba County, and points to the west, you're done with. I know it's 7:20. If you want to go to bed, go to bed. You don't have to go to bed at this point. It's a little early, but your severe weather risk is over. For everybody else, generally along and west of US 43, you're done in northern Alabama. Obviously, 43 moves on over here and gets close to Lawrenceburg. So if you're north of Florence, at that point, that won't really count for you guys. So 43 from south of Florence on south, your severe weather risk is pretty much over from this point. We're still watching flash flooding potential as the board lights up with flash flood warnings this evening. So heed those warnings. Flash flooding is occurring. We've been seeing pictures out there. There's roads that are closed. It's a mess out there. So I wouldn't venture out if you can just stay at home, just stay at home. I wouldn't venture out with this type of weather, even if the rain's coming to an end. Severe weather risk does continue for Lauderdale County, Colbert, Franklin. Again, if you're east of 43, and then everybody east of that, you're still watching that chance at either a brief tornado or a damaging wind gust potentially, or maybe even some hail as this last batch of rain and storms move on through. So Kelly, I'll end with the radar behind me. If you want to mention anything real quick, or we can just toss it. You got nothing going on. So we'll end it here, at least for now. Again, we're still watching things at 7:22. And we're still watching to see if anything ends up spinning up, getting stronger. But for now, we don't have any active severe or tornado warnings in place. So we'll toss you back to the regular program here on the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. For meteorologist Chase Wilson, for meteorologist Kelly Rawson, for Sam Camp, I'm meteorologist Taylor Plott. Stay with the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.